Desires are powerful. They shape our decisions, direct our paths, and influence the way we live. But not every desire comes from the right source. Sometimes what we feel is rooted in emotion, pride, or fleeting attraction. However, when a desire aligns with divine principles, it carries a unique weight, a sense of purpose that transcends our personal wants. So how can you tell if your desire for someone is from a higher source and not simply your own? Here are 4 signs. A desire that comes from the right source always aligns with your purpose. When you desire someone, ask yourself, does this person bring clarity to my purpose, or do they distract me from it? A divinely inspired desire will never pull you away from the vision for your life. It will strengthen it. If this person helps you grow, inspires you to pursue your potential, and encourages you to remain disciplined, that's a sign. But if the relationship is based purely on temporary pleasure or convenience, then it's likely rooted in emotion, not destiny. Remember, purpose is the foundation of fulfillment. Anything that pulls you away from your purpose is not sent to build you, it's sent to break you. One of the clearest signs that a desire comes from the right place is peace. When your desire for someone is from a higher source, there is no need to force it, chase it, or manipulate it. There's a natural rhythm, a sense of ease that feels like alignment. Pressure, on the other hand, creates anxiety and confusion. When a desire consumes you with worry or makes you feel you must constantly prove your worth, it's likely a reflection of your insecurities, not divine timing. True peace doesn't mean there won't be challenges. It means that even in uncertainty, there's an underlying assurance that this is where you are meant to be. A desire that honors divine principles respects boundaries. It honors timing, values integrity, and prioritizes character over chemistry. When someone is from the right source, they will never pressure you to compromise your values or cross lines you've set for yourself. Pay attention. Are you drawn to this person in a way that challenges you to grow, or are you pulled into a cycle of impulsive decisions that leave you feeling regret? Desires rooted in self are impatient. They demand instant gratification. But desires that are divinely inspired operate with patience and respect. They honor your values and push you toward higher standards, not lower ones. Emotions are fleeting, but wisdom is eternal. A divinely inspired desire is confirmed by wisdom through reflection, discernment, and sometimes the counsel of trusted voices in your life. When you're unsure if your desire for someone is from the right source, take a step back. Seek wisdom through self-examination, prayer, or even advice from those who have your best interests at heart. Often, the right path becomes clear when you remove the noise of your emotions and focus on what truly matters. If your desire for someone consistently aligns with principles of truth, integrity, and purpose, it's a sign that it may be divinely guided. But if it creates confusion, chaos, or conflict within, it's worth reconsidering. A true desire for someone that comes from the right place will always elevate your life. It will draw you closer to purpose, not away from it. It will inspire peace, not pressure. It will honor your boundaries, not break them. And it will align with wisdom, not fleeting emotion. Be careful what you let into your heart, because your desires shape your destiny. Listen to the still small voice that guides you, and remember, the right desire will never compete with your purpose. Instead, it will complement it. Desire is one of the most powerful forces in human nature. It is the fuel that propels us toward our goals, motivates us to act, and shapes the decisions we make each day. But not all desires are created equal. There are desires that serve our higher purpose and desires that come from a place of self-interest. A desire aligned with purpose is not just something that temporarily satisfies a need or want, but something that speaks to the core of who we are meant to be. It carries with it a sense of direction, meaning, and alignment with the greater plan for our lives. The difference between a desire rooted in purpose and one rooted in fleeting emotions or selfish ambition can be subtle, but it is deeply significant in the long term. When we speak of a desire aligned with purpose, we are speaking about a desire that moves us toward fulfillment in a way that aligns with our greater calling in life. This is not a desire driven by short-term gratification or surface-level attraction. It is a desire that is aligned with the deep, intrinsic values that make us who we are. It speaks to the parts of us that are most authentic, our true selves, the ones that are in harmony with the world around us, the people we are meant to impact, and the legacy we are meant to create. We all have a unique purpose, a reason for being that transcends our day-to-day responsibilities or temporary desires. Our purpose is often linked to the ways in which we can serve others, the impact we can make on the world, and the growth we can achieve through the challenges and opportunities that come our way. A desire that aligns with this purpose is not only concerned with our personal needs, but also with our broader mission in life. It encourages us to evolve into the best versions of ourselves, to refine our character, and to make choices that contribute to a greater good. Take, for example, the desire for a relationship. A relationship that is aligned with your purpose will not merely be based on superficial attraction or the need for validation. It will be one that brings out the best in you and encourages your growth as an individual. It will inspire you to become more than you thought you could be, to rise to a higher level of understanding, and to build a future that is not just about your own satisfaction, but about serving others in a meaningful way. When a relationship aligns with your purpose, it deepens your understanding of yourself and the world around you. It challenges you to grow, not just in the ways you may want, but in the ways you need. It sharpens your character, strengthens your resolve, and helps you become a person of greater value in the world. In contrast, a desire that is disconnected from your purpose may temporarily satisfy a need or want, but ultimately leaves you feeling unfulfilled. It may bring fleeting joy, but it won't give you the sense of peace and satisfaction that comes from fulfilling your true purpose. When your desires are based on shallow wants, on ego, external validation, or the pursuit of temporary pleasure, they ultimately undermine your happiness. These desires are often rooted in fear or insecurity, and while they may bring instant gratification, they are rarely the source of lasting fulfillment. Purpose-driven desires lead us to think beyond ourselves. They are not only concerned with our immediate satisfaction, but with the long-term impact we can have on others. A desire that aligns with your purpose pushes you to take the road less traveled, to confront the hard truths about yourself, and to face the challenges that come with living a meaningful life. These desires lead to deep, soul-satisfying joy because they are in alignment with who you are meant to become. There is another critical aspect of purpose-driven desires. They always encourage growth. Growth is not always easy, and it certainly isn't always comfortable. But when you desire something that aligns with your purpose, that desire will inherently propel you to grow. Growth can be difficult because it often involves change, and change often requires us to let go of old habits, mindsets, and ways of being. Growth requires discomfort, self-reflection, and sometimes even failure. However, growth also leads to greater strength, wisdom, and resilience. It is through growth that we are shaped into the people we are meant to be. A desire aligned with purpose does not seek to keep us stagnant. Rather, it pushes us to become better versions of ourselves. It challenges us to rise above our circumstances, to exceed our own expectations, and to do what we once thought was impossible. These desires lead us to embrace discomfort because we understand that discomfort is the breeding ground for progress. We understand that in order to grow, we must be willing to move beyond our comfort zones and take risks. A purpose-driven desire empowers us to believe in ourselves and our ability to overcome challenges no matter how difficult they may seem. Purpose-driven desires also invite us into deeper relationships with others. When our desires are aligned with our purpose, they help us connect with like-minded individuals who share our values and vision for the world. Relationships that are built on common purpose are powerful. They serve as platforms for mutual growth, support, and encouragement. In these relationships, we find that we are not just surviving, we are thriving. We are helping each other grow, pushing each other to go further, and inspiring each other to live up to our fullest potential. Moreover, desires that are aligned with purpose often lead us to contribute to a cause greater than ourselves. When we begin to desire what we were created to do, we naturally begin to make a difference in the lives of others. A desire rooted in purpose helps us identify the ways in which we can give back to the world and be of service to those who need us. Whether it is through our careers, relationships, or personal endeavors, a purpose-driven desire encourages us to impact the world in meaningful ways. These desires are not just about personal achievement, they are about leaving a legacy, making a difference, and creating lasting change. When our desires are aligned with purpose, we also begin to see the world differently. We are able to see beyond our own needs and wants and understand the needs of others. We become more compassionate, empathetic, and aware of the larger forces at work in the world. We stop viewing life as a series of isolated events and start seeing the interconnectedness of all things. A purpose-driven desire compels us to care about others, to understand their struggles, and to act in ways that help alleviate their pain. We stop living only for ourselves and begin living for the greater good. On the contrary, when our desires are driven by selfish ambition or fleeting pleasures, we focus solely on our own needs and wants. We become disconnected from the world around us, caught in a cycle of self-centeredness that prevents us from experiencing true joy. We may experience moments of satisfaction, but they will always be short-lived. Purpose-driven desires, on the other hand, provide us with a lasting sense of fulfillment that cannot be taken away by external circumstances. They bring a sense of contentment that comes from knowing we are living in alignment with our true purpose, doing the work we were meant to do, and being the person we were meant to be. A desire aligned with purpose serves as a guiding light in our lives. It illuminates the path forward, even when the road is uncertain. It provides clarity in moments of doubt, and it offers strength in moments of weakness. When we desire what aligns with our purpose, we are able to face the challenges of life with confidence and resilience. We know that we are not simply existing, we are fulfilling our purpose, and that gives us the strength to endure. Peace is a powerful force. It is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of calm, clarity, and balance in our hearts and minds. In a world where noise, distractions, and pressures are constant, peace stands as a rare but essential commodity. When it comes to our desires, relationships, and decisions, the peace we feel in our hearts can often be the greatest indicator of whether we are walking in alignment with what is right for us. On the other hand, pressure, whether it comes from external forces, inner conflict, or society's expectations, creates turmoil, confusion, and a sense of imbalance. When we are driven by pressure, we often make decisions out of fear, anxiety, or the desire to meet external demands rather than out of wisdom or clarity. The contrast between peace and pressure is not just a matter of personal preference, it is about the direction our lives will take. Peace leads to fulfillment, while pressure leads to anxiety and dissatisfaction. Peace is sustainable and leads to long-term growth, whereas pressure often creates temporary solutions that, in the end, only contribute to stress, burnout, and regret. In life, when we are unsure of our next steps, it is essential to differentiate between the peace that guides us and the pressure that pushes us. Pressure often arises when we feel as though we must prove something to others, to ourselves, or to the world. It is the voice that says, you must achieve this now, or you must look this way, be this way, or do this thing. Pressure thrives in environments where the focus is on external validation, recognition, or success defined by the world's standards. But peace, true peace, has nothing to do with the expectations of others. Peace is not dependent on external validation or on achieving societal milestones. Peace is rooted in knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what your deeper purpose is. It comes from a place of confidence that you are enough and that the choices you make are aligned with the vision you have for your life. When you live from a place of peace, you move forward not out of compulsion, but out of clarity. Your actions flow from a deep knowing that the decisions you are making are right for you, not because of external pressures, but because they align with your true self. When you are at peace, you don't need to rush. You don't need to chase after things or people, hoping to fill an emptiness or to gain approval. Peace allows you to stand still and trust the process of life. It encourages patience. In a world that constantly demands more, peace gives you permission to slow down, to reflect, and to take your time. Pressure, on the other hand, thrives on urgency and haste. It tells you that time is running out, that you need to make decisions quickly, or that you must keep up with others. Pressure creates a false sense of urgency, convincing you that if you don't act now, you will miss out. But when you act out of pressure, you often make choices that are not well thought out, leaving you with feelings of regret or second guessing. Pressure is like a loud, intrusive voice in your head, drowning out your inner wisdom. It forces you to think in extremes. Either you make it happen now or you lose your chance forever. It eliminates the space for reflection, contemplation, and careful decision making. Pressure also creates internal conflict. It feeds on fear and insecurity, making you doubt your ability to make the right choices. It tells you that you are not enough, or that you are running out of time to prove your worth. When you act out of pressure, you often prioritize immediate results over long-term peace. You might choose a path that brings short-term gains but leaves you feeling depleted, exhausted, and unfulfilled in the long run. On the contrary, peace encourages alignment. When you are in peace, you operate from a place of certainty and trust. You don't feel the need to rush or force things because you understand that everything unfolds in its own time. Peace offers you the opportunity to make decisions from a grounded place, decisions that are not influenced by external chaos, but by your own inner clarity. One of the biggest problems with living under pressure is that it blinds you to the opportunities that exist beyond the immediate. Pressure narrows your focus, forcing you to look only at what is directly in front of you and to make choices based solely on the immediate circumstances. It doesn't allow room for creativity, innovation, or long-term planning. Peace, however, opens up space for broader vision. When you live from a place of peace, you are able to see the bigger picture. You are able to look beyond the temporary discomforts and challenges and focus on what truly matters in the long term. Peace allows you to make choices that are sustainable and that align with your purpose rather than being swayed by momentary stress or external influence. Furthermore, pressure often leads to a cycle of anxiety. It keeps you in a constant state of fight or flight, where you are always on edge, worrying about the future or the unknown. It prevents you from being present in the moment because your mind is always preoccupied with what you need to do next, what you need to prove, or what you might lose. This anxiety can become overwhelming, affecting both your mental and physical health. In contrast, peace allows you to relax, to let go of the constant need for control, and to embrace the present moment. It is a state of being where you trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Peace provides the clarity and calm needed to make decisions with confidence. It frees you from the need to constantly monitor every step, worry about every detail, or control every outcome. One of the greatest gifts of peace is that it allows you to connect deeply with others. When you are at peace with yourself, you can show up fully for others without the burden of personal insecurity or anxiety. You can give without feeling the need to receive something in return, and you can engage in relationships without the pressure to perform or measure up. Pressure, however, breeds competition and comparison. It makes you feel that you are not enough or that you must do more in order to earn your place. It leads to feelings of inadequacy and discouragement, making it difficult to build genuine connections. Pressure tells you that your worth is defined by what you have achieved, what you own, or how you measure up to others. But peace tells you that your worth is intrinsic. It comes from who you are, not what you do. Another important aspect of peace is that it fosters resilience. When you are peaceful, you are better able to withstand the storms of life. You can face challenges with a calm heart and a clear mind. Even when things don't go as planned, peace allows you to stay centered and find a way forward. Pressure, however, creates a state of constant stress, making it harder to bounce back from setbacks. When you are under pressure, every obstacle feels like a mountain, and every challenge becomes overwhelming. Pressure leads to burnout, while peace leads to endurance. Ultimately, peace is a state of being that transcends circumstances. It is not dependent on external factors or the approval of others. It is not based on what you have or what you lack. Peace is found within, and it is a reflection of your alignment with your true self, your values, and your purpose. When you live in peace, you do not need to prove anything. You do not need to compete, compare, or rush. You can simply be, knowing that everything you need is already inside of you. When you are living in peace, you are free to make decisions that align with your highest good and the good of others. You are free to let go of pressure, to trust the process, and to move forward with confidence and clarity. In contrast, pressure diminishes your ability to think clearly, to make thoughtful choices, and to see the bigger picture. It keeps you in a state of constant tension and anxiety, preventing you from living authentically or making decisions that serve your long-term well-being. Pressure often leads to choices made out of fear, while peace leads to decisions made out of wisdom. When you choose peace over pressure, you choose a life that is grounded in calm, clarity, and confidence. You allow yourself to be led by your higher self, trusting that the right decisions will come in their own time. And most importantly, you give yourself the gift of living fully without the weight of constant stress or the burden of comparison. Peace over pressure is not just a choice, it is a way of living that leads to a life of fulfillment, growth, and lasting happiness. Respect for boundaries is a vital and often overlooked principle in building healthy relationships, both with others and with ourselves. Boundaries define where one person ends and another begins, creating the space necessary for individual identity, personal growth, and emotional well-being. They provide the framework for understanding how we interact with the world around us and help maintain a sense of balance and respect. When boundaries are respected, individuals feel safe, valued, and understood. When they are violated, feelings of resentment, anger, confusion, and even fear can arise, damaging relationships and personal well-being. Boundaries come in many forms, from emotional and physical to mental and spiritual. They are not rigid walls that isolate individuals from others, but rather flexible lines that offer clarity about what is acceptable and what is not. These boundaries can be explicit, communicated directly, or implicit, demonstrated through actions and behaviors. They are essential in helping people navigate their relationships with integrity, understanding, and mutual respect. Without healthy boundaries, relationships can become dysfunctional, manipulative, or toxic, leaving individuals feeling disrespected or overwhelmed. Respect for boundaries begins with self-awareness and self-respect. Before we can expect others to honor our boundaries, we must first understand and honor our own. This means having a clear sense of our own needs, limits, and desires, and being able to communicate them effectively to others. It requires us to be attuned to our own emotions and physical sensations, recognizing when something does not feel right, and taking the necessary steps to protect ourselves. Self-respect is the foundation upon which healthy boundaries are built, and without it, we cannot expect others to show us the same level of consideration and care. It is important to remember that setting boundaries is not a selfish act, rather, it is an act of self-preservation and self-care. By establishing clear boundaries, we create the space needed to preserve our mental, emotional, and physical health. When we neglect our boundaries, we risk becoming overwhelmed by the demands and expectations of others, which can lead to burnout, resentment, and feelings of powerlessness. Healthy boundaries allow us to engage with the world and the people around us from a place of strength and clarity, ensuring that we do not lose ourselves in the process. In relationships, both personal and professional, boundaries are essential for maintaining respect and trust. When we respect others' boundaries, we demonstrate our appreciation for their needs and feelings. We acknowledge that they are separate individuals with their own unique perspectives and experiences. By honoring their boundaries, we show them that we value their autonomy and well-being. Conversely, when we violate someone's boundaries, whether intentionally or unintentionally, we undermine their trust in us and create feelings of hurt or betrayal. The violation of boundaries can manifest in many ways, such as invading someone's personal space, disregarding their emotional needs, or imposing our will on them without consideration for their feelings. The concept of boundaries is not confined to interactions with others, but also extends to how we engage with ourselves. Self-boundaries involve knowing when to say no, when to take a break, and when to prioritize our own needs over external demands. It is easy to get caught up in the pressures of life, whether it be work, family, or societal expectations, and forget to check in with ourselves. We may push ourselves beyond our limits, neglecting our own well-being in the name of productivity or pleasing others. However, this only leads to exhaustion, burnout, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Respecting our own boundaries means recognizing that we are not machines and that we need time, space, and rest to recharge and stay healthy. One of the challenges of respecting boundaries is that it requires courage and assertiveness. In a society that often values pleasing others and avoiding conflict, setting and maintaining boundaries can feel uncomfortable or even confrontational. We may worry about offending someone or damaging a relationship if we assert our needs too strongly. However, failing to set boundaries can lead to resentment, frustration, and even self-sabotage. It is crucial to recognize that setting boundaries is not about being rude or demanding. Rather, it is about communicating our needs in a clear, respectful, and compassionate way. It is about creating the space we need to thrive and honoring both our own needs and the needs of others. Respect for boundaries also requires empathy and understanding. While we may have our own set of boundaries, it is essential to be mindful of the boundaries of others. Everyone has their own unique needs and limits, and it is important to approach each individual with respect for their boundaries, even if they are different from our own. This means listening actively, observing body language, and paying attention to verbal and non-verbal cues. Respecting the boundaries of others creates an environment of trust and mutual support, where individuals feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or violation. One of the most significant challenges in respecting boundaries is the tendency to overstep them unknowingly. Sometimes we may not be aware that we are violating someone's boundaries because we are too focused on our own needs or desires. It is essential to be mindful of how our actions affect others and to be willing to take responsibility for any harm we may cause. This requires humility and a willingness to listen and learn from others. If someone expresses that their boundaries have been crossed, it is important to acknowledge their feelings, apologize if necessary, and take steps to ensure that the violation does not occur again. The respect for boundaries also plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy work-life balance. In today's fast-paced, always connected world, it can be difficult to separate work from personal life. The constant pressure to be available and productive can lead to stress, burnout, and a lack of personal fulfillment. By setting clear boundaries around our work hours, our availability, and our personal time, we create the space needed to recharge and maintain our well-being. This also extends to digital boundaries, setting limits on screen time, social media use, and the constant bombardment of notifications that can distract us from meaningful in-person interactions. Respecting boundaries is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice. It requires continuous self-reflection, open communication, and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. As we grow and evolve, our boundaries may shift, and it is important to check in with ourselves regularly to ensure that we are honoring our needs and desires. It is also essential to respect the evolving boundaries of others, recognizing that people's needs and limits may change over time. In relationships, respecting boundaries fosters mutual respect and trust, which are essential for a strong, healthy connection. When both individuals in a relationship feel safe and respected, they are more likely to communicate openly, support each other, and grow together. Boundaries provide a framework for understanding each other's needs, desires, and limitations, allowing both people to feel seen and heard. When boundaries are violated, however, it can lead to feelings of betrayal, anger, and disillusionment. Therefore, maintaining respect for boundaries is crucial for the long-term health and success of any relationship. Ultimately, respecting boundaries is a practice of love both for ourselves and for others. It is an act of self-care that honors our own needs and well-being, as well as a way to show kindness and consideration for those around us. When we respect boundaries, we create an environment of mutual respect, trust, and understanding where everyone feels valued and supported. Boundaries are not walls that separate us from others, but bridges that allow us to engage with the world in a way that is healthy, balanced, and respectful. By practicing respect for boundaries, we cultivate relationships that are grounded in authenticity, care, and mutual respect, creating the foundation for deeper connections and greater well-being. Wisdom over emotion is a concept that speaks to the ability to respond to situations with thoughtful consideration rather than being driven purely by emotional reactions. Our emotions are powerful. They can be catalysts for change, sources of inspiration, and indicators of our needs and desires. However, when we allow emotions to rule our decisions, we often make impulsive choices that can lead to regret, confusion, and misunderstanding. Wisdom, on the other hand, is the ability to discern the best course of action in any given moment, grounded in knowledge, experience, and long-term perspective. It requires a deep understanding of ourselves, others, and the consequences of our actions. The ability to choose wisdom over emotion doesn't mean ignoring our feelings or suppressing them. It means acknowledging them, understanding them, and then using them as one of many factors in making decisions. Emotions are natural responses to the world around us. They are often quick, automatic, and instinctual. They come from a deep place within us, our past experiences, our fears, our desires, and our biological makeup. When something happens that resonates with us, our emotions spring to the surface, sometimes in an overwhelming way. For instance, we may feel anger when we perceive injustice, sadness when we experience loss, or excitement when we see an opportunity. These emotional reactions are valid and important. They offer insight into how we relate to the world. However, if we allow these emotions to govern our actions without first taking a moment to step back and reflect, we may find ourselves reacting in ways that are destructive both to ourselves and to others. Emotional responses are often immediate, making it difficult to pause and think through the situation. This immediate reaction can lead us to act out of frustration, fear, or desire rather than from a place of clarity. In the heat of the moment, our judgment becomes clouded, and we may say or do things we later wish we could take back. For example, when we are angry, we may lash out and say things that hurt others, damaging relationships in the process. When we are afraid, we may make decisions that limit our potential or keep us stuck in situations that do not serve our best interests. In these moments, wisdom becomes our ally. Wisdom helps us to pause, reflect, and choose a path that will lead to healthier, more productive outcomes. Wisdom teaches us that our emotions, while powerful, do not always reflect the truth of the situation. Emotions are deeply tied to our perceptions and interpretations, which may not always be accurate. For example, when we feel fear, it may be based on an assumption or an imagined worst-case scenario rather than an actual threat. Our emotions can distort reality, making us react to something that isn't as dangerous as we perceive it to be. Wisdom allows us to see things more clearly, to separate our emotional reactions from the facts of the situation, and to make decisions that are grounded in truth rather than perception. The journey of choosing wisdom over emotion begins with self-awareness. To be able to discern between emotional impulses and wise decisions, we must first understand ourselves. We must be able to identify our emotions, recognize the triggers that cause them, and become conscious of the patterns in our reactions. Self-awareness is the key to emotional regulation, which allows us to pause before reacting, take a breath, and consider our options. This awareness also helps us understand the deeper needs or fears that may be driving our emotional responses. For example, if we feel anxiety in a situation, it might be helpful to ask ourselves what we are truly afraid of. Are we afraid of failure? Of judgment? Of not being good enough? By identifying the underlying emotion, we can address the root cause rather than simply reacting to the surface feeling. In addition to self-awareness, wisdom requires emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the practice of managing our emotional responses so that they do not overwhelm us. It is the ability to experience emotions without being controlled by them. Emotional regulation doesn't mean suppressing or denying our emotions. Rather, it involves acknowledging them and choosing how to respond to them in a constructive way. For example, when we feel anger rising within us, emotional regulation allows us to recognize that anger, step back, and choose whether we want to express it or whether it be more helpful to calm down and approach the situation with a clearer mind. This ability to regulate our emotions is an essential aspect of wisdom. It gives us the power to respond with intention rather than react impulsively. A key aspect of wisdom is the ability to see beyond the immediate situation. Emotions often arise in response to short-term events or frustrations, but wisdom invites us to take a longer view. It helps us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions rather than being swept up in the fleeting intensity of our emotions. When we allow emotions to guide our decisions, we may act in ways that give us immediate relief or satisfaction but lead to long-term regret or harm. Wisdom helps us to delay gratification and choose the course of action that aligns with our long-term goals and values. For instance, while it might feel good to retaliate when we are wronged, wisdom teaches us that forgiveness and understanding will lead to greater peace and healthier relationships in the long run. Another element of wisdom is the ability to seek advice and perspective from others. When we are emotionally charged, it can be difficult to see beyond our own narrow perspective. We may become consumed by our own feelings and fail to recognize that others might have valuable insights to offer. Wisdom teaches us the value of seeking guidance from trusted friends, mentors, or professionals who can offer a more objective point of view. They can help us see the bigger picture and provide the clarity we need to make sound decisions. Additionally, wisdom involves the humility to accept that we don't always have all the answers. It is the willingness to learn from others, to admit when we are wrong, and to grow from our experiences. Choosing wisdom over emotion also means accepting that not every emotional experience needs to be acted upon immediately. In today's fast-paced world, we are often encouraged to act quickly, to seize opportunities, or to express our emotions on the spot. However, wisdom encourages us to take our time to reflect and to give ourselves space before making decisions. This does not mean avoiding difficult conversations or suppressing our emotions. It means taking a moment to center ourselves before responding. For example, if we are hurt by something someone says, rather than reacting instantly with defensiveness or anger, we might take a step back, process our feelings, and then respond with compassion or assertiveness. Wisdom invites us to cultivate patience and perspective, trusting that not every emotional reaction requires immediate action. One of the most profound benefits of choosing wisdom over emotion is the sense of inner peace it brings. When we are guided by emotions, we are often at the mercy of our ever-changing feelings, constantly swept up in the highs and lows of life. But when we cultivate wisdom, we tap into a deeper sense of calm and clarity. We begin to see that emotions are temporary and that they do not define us or our circumstances. With wisdom, we learn to navigate life's challenges with greater ease, knowing that our emotional responses do not have to dictate our actions. We become more resilient, more balanced, and more centered in the face of adversity. Wisdom over emotion is also about creating healthier relationships. Emotions can be contagious, and when we allow our emotions to dictate our responses, we may inadvertently create tension or conflict in our relationships. However, when we choose wisdom, we are better able to navigate our interactions with others in a way that fosters understanding, empathy, and respect. We become better listeners, more compassionate, and more thoughtful in our communication. Instead of reacting with defensiveness or hostility, we can approach challenges with a calm, measured approach that invites resolution rather than escalation. Ultimately, wisdom over emotion is about mastering ourselves, not suppressing or denying our feelings, but learning to channel them in ways that lead to growth, peace, and success. It is the ability to rise above the immediate rush of emotions and make choices that align with our deepest values and long-term goals. Wisdom allows us to respond to the world with clarity, understanding, and grace, transforming every challenge into an opportunity for personal growth and transformation. By choosing wisdom over emotion, we cultivate a life that is more intentional, purposeful, and fulfilling, one where our emotions serve us rather than control us. To elevate your life is to rise above the ordinary, to seek not just success but significance. It's about striving to reach a level of personal and professional fulfillment that reflects your true potential, your highest self. Elevation is not simply about improving circumstances, it is a transformation of the mind, spirit, and actions. It involves stepping into your own power, embracing growth, and pushing beyond limitations that once held you back. When you elevate your life, you are not just improving your day-to-day existence, you are creating a legacy, establishing a vision for your future that aligns with your deepest desires and values. This journey of elevation is not one of external pursuit alone, but one of internal mastery, where you come to understand the strength that lies within you, your purpose, and the profound impact you can have on the world. The first step toward elevating your life is to recognize your own value and potential. Many of us go through life not fully aware of the power we possess. We are often shaped by circumstances, the expectations of others, or the limitations imposed by our past experiences. We may feel inadequate, as though we do not deserve to rise, or that the goals we have are too far out of reach. However, the reality is that you have everything within you to elevate your life to extraordinary heights. The key is in understanding that your value is not defined by external circumstances, but by your inner capabilities. Your potential is limitless when you break free from the chains of self-doubt and fear. A crucial part of elevating your life is shifting your mindset. The way you think about yourself and the world around you determines the actions you take and the results you achieve. If you continue to think small, your actions will be small. If you believe that success is reserved for others, then you will remain where you are. However, when you adopt a mindset of abundance, of possibility, and a belief in your own abilities, you open up a world of opportunities. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Elevating your life requires a mindset shift that aligns with the idea that you are capable of achieving more than you ever imagined. One of the greatest shifts you can make is to embrace a growth mindset, understanding that your abilities, talents, and intelligence are not fixed but can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset change is empowering because it means that no matter where you start, you can always grow, improve, and elevate. It also means that failure is not a setback, but a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity for growth, a stepping stone toward greater wisdom. People with a growth mindset are not afraid of challenges because they see them as chances to stretch beyond their comfort zones and uncover new potentials within themselves. The moment you begin to see failure as feedback rather than a final verdict on your abilities, your life begins to change in profound ways. With each lesson learned, you move closer to the life you desire. Part of this mindset shift is also recognizing that success is not just about achieving wealth, status, or material possessions. True elevation comes from aligning your life with your purpose, from living in a way that reflects your core values and passions. When you are in alignment with your true self, you experience a sense of fulfillment that far exceeds anything money or recognition can provide. This is where true happiness resides. Elevating your life is about living authentically, stepping into your purpose, and creating a legacy that is meaningful. It's about ensuring that the work you do, the relationships you cultivate, and the way you spend your time are all reflective of who you are at your core. To elevate your life, you must also be willing to let go of the things that hold you back. This can mean releasing toxic relationships, habits, or environments that drain your energy and keep you stuck. Elevation requires you to surround yourself with people who support and encourage your growth, not those who pull you down or keep you in a place of mediocrity. It also means letting go of negative self-talk and limiting beliefs that have been ingrained over time. These beliefs often come from past experiences, societal expectations, or the opinions of others. They create barriers that stop you from achieving your full potential. In order to elevate your life, you must consciously choose to break free from these barriers, one belief at a time. This may involve reframing your perspective on failure, success, or your own abilities. It may also require you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself and take steps to transform them. Elevation is also about developing emotional intelligence and learning to master your emotions rather than be controlled by them. Emotions are powerful and can deeply influence our decisions and actions, but they are also temporary and can cloud our judgment if we are not careful. Elevating your life means learning to manage your emotions, especially in difficult or challenging situations. It involves taking a step back when emotions run high, processing your feelings, and responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. When you gain control over your emotional responses, you gain control over your life. Emotional intelligence also allows you to develop deeper, more meaningful relationships with others. You become better at understanding not only your own emotions, but also those of the people around you. This empathy allows you to connect with others on a deeper level, fostering trust, collaboration, and mutual support. Another key aspect of elevating your life is taking consistent action toward your goals. It's not enough to simply think about or dream of a better life. Elevation requires you to take proactive steps every day, no matter how small, toward the life you desire. Action is what turns dreams into reality. Each step you take, no matter how incremental, brings you closer to your ultimate vision. The power of consistent action lies in its compounding effect. When you keep taking steps, even if they seem insignificant at the time, you are laying the foundation for future success. Elevating your life requires discipline, perseverance, and a relentless commitment to your vision. It requires the courage to act in spite of fear, to keep going when things get tough, and to push forward when it seems like progress is slow. Time management is another important aspect of elevating your life. Time is a resource we cannot get back, and how we choose to spend it greatly impacts the quality of our lives. To elevate your life, you must prioritize what matters most and let go of distractions and time wasters. This means saying no to things that do not serve your purpose and saying yes to things that will move you closer to your goals. Effective time management also involves setting boundaries and ensuring that you maintain a balance between work, rest, and play. Elevating your life means being intentional with how you use your time, making sure that you are focusing your energy on the activities and relationships that will bring you the greatest fulfillment. One of the most important aspects of elevating your life is developing resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. There will be times when things don't go as planned or when you face hardships that seem insurmountable. Resilience is the quality that enables you to face these difficulties with strength and determination. It's the ability to learn from failure and keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear. Resilience also means maintaining a positive outlook even in the face of challenges. It is about keeping faith in yourself and your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. The more resilient you become, the more capable you are of elevating your life to new heights. In the process of elevation, you also need to embrace continuous learning and personal development. The world is constantly changing, and in order to stay ahead and continue growing, you must make a commitment to learning new skills, gaining knowledge, and challenging yourself. Elevating your life is not about reaching a fixed destination, but about embarking on a lifelong journey of growth and improvement. It's about being open to new experiences, seeking out opportunities for personal and professional development, and pushing yourself to be better today than you were yesterday. This mindset of continuous learning ensures that you are always evolving, always becoming the best version of yourself. To elevate your life is to choose to live on a higher level, to transcend mediocrity, and to strive for greatness in every aspect of your being. It requires you to align your actions with your values, to cultivate the mindset of a champion, and to stay committed to your vision. Elevation is not a quick fix or an easy path. It's a lifelong commitment to becoming more than you were yesterday. By taking consistent, intentional steps toward growth and fulfillment, you can elevate your life in ways you never thought possible. The choice is yours, and the journey starts today.